approach. So can you tell me, you understand the what is classical approach and FEM approach, right? Can you tell me what may be the difference between that? Can you tell me yourself what is the difference between these two? Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
What
We
I'm
can hear
asking
you.
is, what can you tell me yourself? What may some difference between classical approach and FEM approach? You got an idea, no? What is classical approach means, what is the FEM method? Now, what may be the difference between these two? Anyone? Classical approach and numerical approach. What may the main difference is there? As I explained on the previous slides, in engineering solution problem. What is the first difference?
Accuracy,
Yes,
sir. More accurate.
accuracy is the matters first step. That is what? Which is the more accurate method? Which is the most accurate method?
Numerical.
Not numerical. Classical approach is the
Classical
most
method.
accurate. Please don't confuse. Classical approach or MOM approach, what we call, that is the give the exact result. Numerical approach is not exact one. It's a approximate solution it will give. So therefore, exact solution are formed and exact solution are obtained. Whereas in case of FEM, exact solution are equations are formed, but approximate solution are obtained. Solution can be obtained for few standard cases only. Means all types of problem we can't able to use it. But in case of FEM, you can apply to any types of problem, complex in nature, you can apply. For the solution of shape, boundary condition, loading, some assumptions are made. So means here, as you know, in entire MOM, we are going to assume for every topic we are going to assume material is homogeneous, material is isotropic, so strain is constant. Like the different assumptions we made when you're deriving the particular type of equation. Correct? No? Correct. Angular twist is same in case of torsion. Column is straight in case of column and struts. We assumption we made in entire MOM, for every deriving the governing equation we made some assumption. Correct? Hello?
Yes, sir.
We made some assumptions, but in case of FEM
Yes,
you no
sir.
need to make assumption. What type of realistic condition is there, that only you can take it and you can solve it. So that's why FEM method will give realistic to the result, to the nature, but whereas here it is only like ideal conditions. So classical one, material is not isotropic, solution the problem become very difficult. That is what in entire MOM or DMU approach what you're using, entire thing based on the assumption that main common assumption is material is isotropic and homogeneous. If it is not that, then it is very difficult to solve. But in here it is no need, it can take any types of material, it may be a isotropic or non-isotropic, you can use it that. So that is the main advantage from the FEM method. If the structure is consists more than one material, it is difficult to analyze. That is also, suppose combination of material comes like composite material, so that is difficult to analyze. But in case of here, it is nowhere. Any type of, there is no limit. You can take 10 type of material it made up of, or any type, let it be n number of material it made up of, maybe the structure means you can easily solve it without any difficulty. And geometric non-linearities cannot be handled. What do you mean by geometric non-linearities? This is very important one. Words, linearity, non-linearity, in that they're talking about geometric non-linearity. What do you mean by geometric non-linearity? Can anyone? Geometric non-linearity means what? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
What do you mean by geometric non-linearity?
Geometry. C plus.
Geometrical analysis.
But what?
Geometrical analysis.
Not in a proper step.
Anyone, please, can you repeat?
Not in a proper step.
Yeah. So means geometric nonlinearity means it is suppose it is not straight. It is having irregular shapes. Like if you take a turbine blades, turbine rotor blades, or if you take any aerospace structure, or if you take a example like a chain sprocket. So the structure is not what there. It is not linear. So exact flat is not there. So if you take a bar, it isn't linear, geometrical linear in nature because the area will not be changed. But geometric nonlinear means area will be keeps on changes at every points. So that is type of problem which is very difficult to solve using a classical method. That's why we taken only simple one we solved. But in case of FEM, you can take any type of irregular body, we can easily solve it. So that is no difficulty. That is one. So that's why classical method is a less superior method, and this is more superior method. So these are the some difference between classical approach and finite element method. This is also one of the important questions as a point of examination they will ask you. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, one more important question they will ask you. What is the difference between FDM and FEM? That is finite difference method, finite element method. Both are which type of method? Both are which type of method?
Analytical method.
Huh?
Analytical.
Again, you are losing the fundamental, please. Which is this is an analytical method?
Numerical
Numerical,
method.
sir.
Please don't confuse classical approach. What is there, as well as your as I said, Rayleigh's method. That's the analytical method. This is only the numerical methods. Both are numerical methods only. FDM, FEM, finite volume method, boundary condition method, boundary element method. All these things are what is the type of method? Numerical technique method. So therefore, in that these two, what is the difference we are seeing? FDM and FEM. Please listen carefully. FDM makes point-wise approximation to govern an equation, thus continuity only at node point, not along the sides of elements. Whereas in FEM, make piecewise approximation and thus continuity at node point and also along the sides of the elements. So that means that see in FDM what we will do. So here in FEA what we are going to do, we are going to divide the domain into some elements, subdomains. So but in the case of FDM, what it will do, it will divide into not elements like points or nodes. So therefore it will calculate the value only at the nodes, not in between that. Only point between only at this point, discrete point only it will calculate the solution. If you want here, it cannot be get it. But in case of FEA, it can be get it either points, that is called nodes, as well as elements, because it will going to divide into piecewise approximation. That's why FEM is called piecewise approximation, whereas FDM is called point-wise approximation. So you can be get it the solution. If you want here in this element, you can get it, or in this node, if you want, you can get it anywhere in the structure, you can get it. So that is the main first fundamental difference. It is a piecewise approximation, it is a point-wise approximation. FDM gives the value at node only. It do not give any approximate function to evaluate the basic values. Whereas in case of FEM, it can give the value at any point other than node, also by interpolation. So what it will do in FEM, in the second point it's saying, in FEM, it will calculate the values only at the nodes. But if you want the result at the in this element in between here, in somewhere here means, you can use interpolation function, we can get it. So that is the very great advantage. But in case of finite difference method, it will calculate only at the nodes. Therefore, the result you can get at the middle anyone. But FEM, that is finite element method, it can be calculate the values even though at the nodes, but you can get it at any between any point of the element by interpolation function. I think you know all of you about interpolation, correct? Interpolation means you know that it's a mathematical technique. Interpolation. Have you used the interpolation function? Hello? Have you used the interpolation? Have you used the interpolation or not?
No, sir.
You are used. Where you know? Suppose you take a data and you used in like BTD or ATD data and book used no steam table and all. Steam table used,
sir.
right? Suppose you want
Yes,
to
sir.
calculate the particular temperature. What is the value of pressure? Or it may be a H. What is that enthalpy? So I have 100. I know that value they given 100 degree. Next value is 120 degree given, but in between 110 degrees they're not given. Then what you have done? Then how you calculated in between that? What is the values of corresponding values? By applying the interpolation function called linear function, x1 minus x2 divided by something like that. Correct? No.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So that is known as interpolation. There are different types of interpolation functions there. So in FEM also, finite element method, they are going to apply that interpolation method. Even though I know here, suppose I know the values here, I know the values here. It will only calculate at these two nodes, but it will not calculate it here. But if you want what is the value here means, result means it can apply to the interpolation function. You can able to calculate anywhere on between the elements. That is the beauty of the FEM. So by applying the interpolation function, we can get the values. That is what he's saying here. FEM can give the value at any point other than node also by interpolation. FDM makes stair type approximation to sloping and curved boundaries. FEM can consider sloping boundaries and exactly. See, what do you mean by curved boundary means? Suppose you take a figure here. So this is called as curved boundary. So if you want this type of structure is there, shape is there. So FDM method if you use, that is finite difference method, it will give very approximate one. It will not capture the entire curve. But in case of finite element analysis or finite element method, it can capture any type of boundaries, any type of curves easily, and you can calculate the values. So that's why it gives the better result than the FDM. So stair type and approximation it will take. But here FEM can consider sloping boundaries. Exactly, it will capture the any type of irregular shapes or slopes boundaries. FDM need large number of nodes to obtain the good result because it is a point-wise approximation. Therefore, more the number of nodes, it will give the accurate result. But here it required few number of nodes because it's a piecewise. More the elements, more it will give the accurate results. So therefore, it required lesser the nodes, but it required larger the nodes. Example like if you take it here, see, if I want to capture exactly from year to year means in the case of FDM, we need to introduce here around 10 nodes. 10 nodes. So but here, in order to capture the same profile like this, we introduce only 2 nodes. In between that, elements are connected. Therefore, it will capture the exact one. So therefore, here only 2 nodes are used in case of FEM. But if you use FDM, same profile to capture, you should use more than 10 or 20. Exactly, if you want to capture the same profile of this exact one, means you should use more number of nodes. Because it will not use the element. It's a point-wise approximation, that's why. Are you getting the concept? Hello?
Yes.
Are you understanding the difference between FDM and FEM?
Sir, explain again, sir.
Yeah, one last point, I will finish it, I will come back. So FDM fairly complicated problems can be handled, but FEM can handle any type of complicated problems. See, first thing, the main difference between FDM and FEM is FDM, that finite difference method, it's a point-wise approximation. That means, suppose this is my geometric model. This one is the model. I need to calculate the values for this structure. means I should divide this into number of nodes, not elements, nodes. Therefore, I should introduce, instead of 2 nodes here, in order to capture the exact from here to here this line, I should introduce more number of nodes. But in case of FEM, it will divide into number of pieces, small pieces like this, one piece like this, one piece here, 2 piece, 3 piece. That is called element. These elements are connected only at the distinct point, that is known as nodes. That's why FDM is called as point-wise approximation method. FEM is called as piece-wise approximation method. That is the first difference, major difference they mentioned here. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Second one, FDM calculate the value only at the points, because it will only calculate the values at the nodes, not at the element. But element nowhere it is going to use. Therefore, do not give approximate function. But FEM can give the value at point, and also you can get at in between the elements also. That means it will calculate only at the points only in FEM also. But if you want to find the what is the result between these 2 nodes, means you can use interpolation function. You can get it anywhere in the domain. You can calculate the value. But in case of FDM, finite difference method, it will calculate only at the points. Suppose here 1 point is there, here point is not there, nodes are not there. Therefore, you can't able to get the result here. Only you can get these 2 corners. But FEM is not like that. Even they calculated the values at this point, but using interpolation function, you can able to find what is the result here, what is the result here, what is the result anywhere. So that is the second main difference. And third difference is it will applicable. It will take, suppose if the irregular shape is there, for the solution shape, boundary condition, loading, some assumptions are made. That is third difference. Some assumption they are going to use it here, but sorry, not this one. Yeah, FDM makes this state type approximation, sloping and curve boundaries. So that means it is, suppose you take this type of curvature system, it will capture, it will not much capture accurately, it will capture very approximately. But in case of FEM, it will, by more number of elements if you introduce, it will capture exactly the shape of these boundaries. So that's why more the it will accurately captured, obviously results are more accurate. That's why FEM method give more accurate result, and FDM need large number of nodes to divide it to get a good result. But here, in case of finite element method, few number of nodes itself you can get the exact result, because it will divide into pieces, but this will divide into number of nodes. That is the main difference. And FDM finally, it will give the applicable to only few complicated structure, but FEI can apply to any type of complicated structure. So this is the main difference between FDM and FEM. Understood now?
Yes, sir.
All of you understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Because these are the very fundamental basics. Because till now you are not studied this type of subject. It's the first time you are going to study about the numerical approach type of numerical method type subject. And this is the fundamental. And if you go to the higher studies, so if you don't know this fundamental, that is difficult. That's why this is the very fundamental what you are studying this one. Because in the industry side, they are going to use this type of approach only to do the analysis and all, design everything. Now, one more very important basis. I'll come to the point of now. See, as I explained here, definition, finite element method reduces degree of freedom from infinite to finite with the help of discretization forces. So, because if you take complete one structure like this, it's having infinite number of degree of freedom. More the degree of freedom, more the tedious in the calculation doing the things. If you more lesser that degree of freedom, easily you can able to calculate the result. That's why if you divide number of element, it will convert infinite number of degree of freedom to finite number of degree of freedom. That is FEM. Now the question is, I think degree of freedom you already heard so many times. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Now
sir.
tell me, where you heard this first, tell me. Degree of freedom. Where you heard degree of freedom? In
Mom,
which
sir.
topic? Huh?
Mom.
Mom. Okay. Then okay. In especially in COM, no kinematics of machine.
Yes, sir. Com.
You have calculated degree of freedom for mechanics. So that is this one mechanisms.
Yes, sir. 4 by
Correct? No.
mechanism. Yes, sir.
Any for
Yes, sir.
any type of mechanism. Okay. Now, what do you mean by then degree of freedom? Very fundamental this one, because this is a very important when you're going to design the things, especially in mechanisms. Whereas here now very important degree of freedom. What do you mean that? Freedom is what?
Independent values, sir.
Yes, independent. There is no restriction. Correct. Correct. No.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you tell me how many number of total degree of freedom will be there?
Sir, XYZ.
XYZ. That means 3. What is that XYZ? Only simply said XYZ. What do you mean that XYZ? That's all. Nothing. Huh? Anyone? How many degree of freedom and what are those things? Hello? You are there?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Tell
sir.
me. You have
Yes,
idea?
sir.
Or not? You tell me. See, degree of freedom, as I said, number of independent motion it's having, any points or any mechanisms. Totally, there are only 6 degree of freedom. What are the 6 degree of freedom is? Translation in X, translation in Y, translation in Z. Similarly, translation, rotation in X, rotation in Y, and rotation in Z. Example, you can able to see the figure, no? What I'm writing, you can able to see.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
See, translation X means in a linear direction, translation in X. That is called TX. Translation in X and translation in Y, TY, linear movement. And finally, translation in Z. This is Z, not Y, sorry. This is Z. Now, similarly, rotation in X. Rotation means with respect to this X axis, what is the rotation take place? That is X. Now, this is rotation in what? Which direction? Y direction. This is finally rotation in Z direction.
Z.
Now, suppose any mechanism, if you take it, how many degree of freedom will it? Is less than the 6 or more than 6? Suppose I design a structure. If I given full all 6 degrees of freedom, 3 translation and 3 rotation, what happened? Whether mechanism will work or not, you tell me. Mechanism will work? Hello? Hello?
Hello.
See, you got the first degree of freedom. Degree of freedom is nothing but number of independent motion that can be allowed to the body. Totally, there are 6. Translation X, translation Y, translation Z, rotation in X, rotation in Y, rotation Z. Now, my question is, suppose you are going to design any mechanism, whether if you give the all 6 degree of freedom, what happened? 6 degree of freedom is given. What happened? 6 degree of freedom is not given means it is not constrained. It can freely move to any direction. What happened?
Not stable.
Whether it does mechanism work or not?
No, sir.
No way. No way. It will work. Correct? No. It become free means how it will work? It like in a space. Simply it will float. That's all. So mechanism, if you want to frame, means any minimum, any one link should be fixed. That is the main fundamental in a mechanism. Correct? Suppose even take an example like this. 4-bar mechanism you're saying, or you can say piston and cylinder. See here, I've constrained here. Therefore, what happened? Translation motion I constrained here. It can only rotate. Correct? No. Even I constrained here also. So therefore, it will give some type of motion. If you constrain, suppose if I constrain here, you'll get another type of motion. So therefore, by changing the fixing portion, you'll get different types of motion. That is called inversion of mechanism. That is what you studied, isn't it? Hello. So therefore, for any mechanism means you should fix any one. You have to restrict this. Either you can restrict translation X, translation Y, translation Z, or rotation, or you can restrict. Total 6 is there. Even you can restrict 3 numbers. 3 degree of freedom, any 3. Suppose if I restrict all degree of freedom, what happened? Degree of freedom is 0. What happened? What happened? That is become like a structure. It will not move. Rigid structure. Because every movement I fixed means it is become like a structure. Got it? Now here we're talking about in place of FEM, what you are saying, it will convert infinite number of, when you divide, convert infinite number of degree of freedom to finite number of degree of freedom by doing the discretization process. That means dividing the elements. So you can take an example here. The minimum number of the degree of freedom, minimum number of parameter required to define the position of a state of any completely in any entity completely in a space. That is known as degree of freedom. Suppose you take an example here. A is 1 point. In order to define this, how many degree you should require? Define this. What is the distance from x-axis? What is the distance from y-axis? That is enough. 2 degree of freedom. That's why it is called. Now, suppose I taken a point like A and B, some angle. Now, in order to define this A, I should define what is the distance with respect to x-axis, distance from the y-axis, as well as what is the angle with respect to this x-axis or y-axis. We need to define. Therefore, 3. X, Y, and rotation, that is theta, you have to define. Now you can take, this is 1D, this is like 2D. Now it is defined in a cube, that is 3D. In order to define this A, what is the number of coordinate system you required? What is the distance, that is translation in X? What is the distance with respect to Y? What is the distance with respect to Z? And also what is the angle with respect to X, Y, and Z? Therefore, it is become how many? 6 degrees of freedom. So therefore, degree of freedom is very important concept in an entire FEA. We use it for individual calculation of points. The total degree of freedom in a given mesh model is equal to the number of nodes multiplied by the number of degree of freedom per node. The total degree of freedom depends upon the type of element, 1D, 2D, or 3D. More the 3D if you use, more degree of freedom will come. 1D if you use, lesser the degree of freedom will come. So therefore, what they saying, more the degree of freedom, total degree of freedom for a given mesh model is equal to the number of nodes multiply the number of degree of freedom per node. What do you mean that? Let me see in the figure. You take a structure of this. You can take a structure of this. I divide into like nodes. I divide into nodes. Only this much. I divide into nodes. Therefore, what is the number of nodes are there? Suppose here number of nodes are infinite is there. So any, as I said, total degree of freedom, if any object you take it on the earth, it is only 6 degree of freedom, not more than that. Therefore, number of nodes are infinite is there in this, within this boundary. Therefore, for each node having total 6 degree of freedom. Therefore, total number of equation become how much? Infinite. Because number of nodes are infinite. Therefore, total equations also become infinite, because each node you should apply the governing equation, then total equations also become infinite. Come to the second one. Same boundary, I divided into number of pieces. 4 pieces I divided. Therefore, you'll get the nodes totally 3 plus 6 plus 9 nodes are there. Therefore, total number of nodes are how many? 9. I divided into 4 elements, but 4 elements is connected with the 9 nodes. Degree of freedom again I given as 6 per each node. Therefore, what is the total equation get? 9 into 6 become how much? 9 into 6 become how much? 9.
54.
54, sir.
Therefore, total equation required for this case is 54. If I not divided, I should calculate infinite. It is nowhere it is possible to calculate infinite equations. It take lot of time. Infinite itself, that is. So therefore, that is a concept very important. Main principle of FEA is convert infinite number of degree of freedom into finite number of degree of freedom by which process? Discretization process. Divide into number of small pieces or elements. Therefore, degree of freedom is reduced. As the number of degree of freedom is reduced, what happened? Your number of equations also reduced. Therefore, the computational time to calculate the results also going to be reduced. So that is the main fundamental. That's all, not more than that. You understood?
Yes, sir.
So therefore, that finite element method only makes calculation at limited number of points and then interpolate the results of the entire domain. See, suppose if your 100 is there, 100 nodes are there. It will not calculate at the 100 nodes. What it will do? It will only calculate on the few nodes. Say 50 nodes it will calculate. But if you want to result at 100 nodes also, you can do it. Which method they are going to use? Using interpolation method. You can easily get it. So that is the thing, beauty of FEA. So that's why you can apply to any complex structure. So it will calculate the result for the nodes, and you can interpolate, you can get it any points. So this nodes, again, it depends upon the number of elements. The degree of freedom, it depends upon the number of elements. 1D, 2D, 3D. You can see here, it is a 1D case. Suppose if say it's 2 year. Suppose if this case 3 year, but it is kept in a 3D, it becomes 6. So lesser the degree of freedom, computation time is take less to calculate the results. So therefore, main objective of FEA is to, as much as possible, you should reduce the degree of freedom in order to get the result in a faster way. That's all. That's why it will convert infinite number of degree of freedom to finite number of degree of freedom. By doing which process? By doing which process? By doing which process? It will convert infinite degree of freedom to finite degree of freedom. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Interpolation.
No. Not interpolation. How it will convert infinite nodes to, or not node, infinite degree of freedom to finite degree of freedom. By doing which process? By doing which process here they mentioned? The finite element method reduce the degree of freedom from infinite to finite with the help of what?
Sir, meshing and discretization.
Discretization process. You should use the technical word discretization process. That is what here example I given. It is having infinite number of nodes. In order to get the finite element, I divide into number of elements. 4 elements I divided. Therefore, that at the each corner connected elements are get the nodes. Total 9. Therefore, you will get only few number of degree of freedom. You will get 6. 9 nodes into 6, that is become 54. Total degree of freedom becomes 54. That is, therefore, you can get total equations are 54. But here, total equations are infinite. So by doing the discretization process, that is the very fundamental principle in entire FEA we are going to use. What are the domain they given? Let it be any type of structure. First, we need to divide into small pieces. That's all. So based on that, your results matters. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, next questions are some of the important theory questions which is come to the examination point. Like, what is the advantage, disadvantage, applications of FEM? Usually, this is one of the common questions they will ask. Now, you understood somewhat about the basics of FEM. Can you tell me what may be the advantages of it? What are the advantages? Can you tell me yourself now? Please be interact. Otherwise, it makes bore and even you will not get interested to do it. That's why I will ask you more questions. Please tell me, you got FEA idea, correct?
We can solve both the linear and non-linear problems in FEA.
Good. It can be used for linear and non-linear problem. Then, any others? Any others? Advantages? Only this much.
We can
Only
use
one.
for many chemical and
Many?
electrically, chemical we can use. We can solve those problems.
Yes. That means it can applicable to the any type of application. Okay. Any type of problems. Okay. Next. Any others? So let me see. FEM is easily applied to irregular shapes. That means any complex shapes, complex in loading, complex in boundary conditions, we can easily apply. And it can readily handle any all types of complex geometry. It can use it applicable to any type of steady state and time dependent problems. That is non-material involving non-linear problems. It is used to write the general computer program for this method. Very easy is to using a computer. You can use it using this method. It's easy to write the program with the help of computer. You can solve this. Non-homogeneous materials can be easily handled. We are classical approach. We are using homogeneous material, but non-homogeneous also you can easily handle. Higher order elements can be easily implemented. We'll see what is that higher order element. I will tell you later. Approximate solution can be made into convert into exact solution by using more computation time. That means even the approximate solution also we can convert into a exact solution. How it is possible? By doing more computation time. Means you have to divide more number of elements, and therefore it will take a lot of time. So by doing that computation time, if you give it, definitely you get the accurate result. So that is the one beauty of this. So and also it can handle all complex constraint already said. It can handle any complex loading already said. It can handle wide variety of engineering problems as is someone is mentioned. It may be dynamics problem, heat structure problem, aerospace problem, electromagnetic problem, biomedical problem. It can be applied to anyone. That is the beauty of this. So can you tell me what is the disadvantages? For everyone, there is advantage and disadvantage. Can you tell me anyone what is the disadvantages? Ruchita, Veena, Sumant.
Results are not accurate.
Disadvantages.
Not
What?
accurate results.
Huh?
Results are not accurate.
Okay, good. Results are not accurate. Okay, then that's all. Any others? It required digital computer to, because in order to solve this any complex problems, it requires high-speed computer. High-speed computers are very costly. It is expensive. Skillful operator is required to solve this, because doing the machine process and all based on his skill, it will have, it will going to be matters. In general, cost time is involved higher, and FEM domains only approximate solution as he said. Output result will considerably vary considerably, because suppose you doing the FEM method and some other doing the same problem solving, you'll get different because how you are going to discretize, based on that you'll get the result. FEM is an inherent errors. Always there is a errors will be there. Let me see what is those errors later. FEM gives solution only at the nodal points, but you can get it by interpolation method. You can get it. That is no much. So the finite solution may contain fatal errors as a result of incorrect modeling structure, load, boundary condition. Some errors will be there. So those errors we'll see it later. But those errors is acceptable. But we want what is the final result in approximated that you can easily get it. So that error is acceptable and you can minimize it. That's not a problem. So that is not much problem to the actual result. That's why we are going to use that method. That is known as FEM. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Now, one more question, usually application. So as I already mentioned, it can be applied to any type of application like structural problem. Structural problem means you can take structure. Structure means what? What do you mean by structure? What do you mean by structure? Structure means what?
Sir, a shape.
Structure, okay, shape. What do you mean by structural problems? What do you mean by structure? Huh?
The way that the parts of something are put together or organized.
Tell me.
The parts of something are put together or organized.
Okay. That is okay. This is completely organized, and as it is how it is organized, it's completely fixed. It's rigidly fixed. So that is known as a structure. So that structural problem, like it may be what you are solving, all types of problem like bar, beam, like shaft, cylinders. All these are structural problem. So that structural problem, what is the stress developed, what is the strain you have to calculate, you can easily. In that again, buckling analysis you can do, vibration analysis. So how much it will, suppose if you apply the load, columns will bend, how much it will buckle, that you can easily calculate. How much frequency it can vibrate, that you can calculate. And you can apply to the non-structural problem like heat transfer problem, fluid flow problems you can be used. So, and also you can apply to the biomedical problem to analyze the joints of the human bones, that you can see how much stress will be developed, that you can see for the human joints and all, that you can, and also heart, how the fluid will be not fluid, sorry, in fluid in the sense in the human, which is the fluid is flow inside the nerves, you know, that blood. So the blood will be how it will flow, so that you can easily analyze through this. And any engineering heavy components you can easily analyze, aerospace engineering components, nuclear engineering, turbines, analysis of robots, as well as you can easily analyze the earthquake also, how much is the frequency it is vibrate, the things that you can analyze. In casting you can analyze how to, what temperature going to be induced when you're doing the casting process, how much stress will be developed during the, due to that, all those things you can easily analyze. So geometry, geomechanics problems like how much strength of the this one soil, that also you can analyze. Due to that, if you apply the load on the soil, how much stress will be developed, because this is very much required for an civil engineer. Suppose I need to build a structure, means I should know the first strength of the soil. For that they are going to do the analysis as well as experiment also. So all these things they are going to applicable. So that's why it's a huge number of application there, so you can easily write it. So it is a self-explained, you can easily write in the exams the same points, you can get it for 8 or 10 marks they will ask you. And next topic what we are discussing here, errors. As I said in disadvantages, if we are always having some errors. So what are those errors will come? Why the errors will come? Why? Because suppose you've taken a wrong assumptions, it will come. It may be user errors, it will be there. Usually, you know that manual error, it is a human error will be there always. That is unavoidable. Inappropriate element if you choose. There are different types of elements are there for a different types of application. Suppose if you use improper element, then also error will come. And how will discretization matters a lot here, as I said. Discretization is the main principle. If discretization is not done properly, then get an error. Wrong meshing size, that is what you come to the discretization again. And a wrong support condition if you used boundary condition not properly used, support condition instead of hinge, you may be taken fixed, or it may be taken roller support. then errors will be introduced. Large variation in the stiffness value, then also it will be error will become. Stiffness will take it later. That is very important. And programs in bugs. That means usually in the programs also, software also, there is some bugs are there. So that also matters, the errors. Improper training with the software. Suppose the person who is handling that software don't know properly trained, is use some other options, suppose, then also get errors. So these are the possibilities, types of errors which is going to induce in a FEM. That's why you get an inaccurate result based on these errors. As much as possible, we need to avoid these errors. Okay, understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All of you understood? All of you are asking, only two are answering. Keep on
Yes, sir.
saying that.
Yes, sir.
Tomorrow I don't mind classes start. Okay, last topic I will finish.
Saturday 2 hours.
Huh? That's Saturday 2 hours. Yeah. Okay, let it be the class I can take because this is an online class I can take afternoon. No, that is not a quick problem. But thing is now, especially for module 1, I should take more classes because module 1 is a very fundamental one. You should understand the concept. I should make repetition itself take half an hour. Because again tomorrow if I start it, I can't directly go to the what is okay next, what is where I stop directly. I can't go to it. I should again revise what each other class in previous class what I done, because then only it will stick on your mind. That is an online class, so I should make it repetition in every class, especially for the module 1 till it complete. I should make repetition. Even though when I go and move to the other modules also, I should repeat some topics here every day, because then only if I brush up it, then only it will be stick on your mind. Otherwise, it will go. Especially this is the one of the new concept now. If I start DME, it is no problem because I already know about the DME one. Is the same type of approach will be there. Only the equations will be changed. That is no matters much to stress to explain. But here not like that. It's total concept itself new. Fundamental itself, if you are not learn properly, it is difficult to do the understand the subject, because not for today or sixth time it is applicable to the in the future. Every subject is a what you're studying is for future, especially this subject, because entire concept is FEM is going to use in every industry. If you have become an analyzer, you should know these fundamental basics. So that's what we are stressing much this topic. Got it? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Only 9 members, sir. Okay. Fine. 9 members are there. That we are come to very important one more topic, and which is most repeated. I think you can see in the slides how many times it's asked. That is steps involved in order to solve the problem using FEM method. There are systematic approaches there. Therefore, what are the steps involved in that we are going to discussing here. And this is the one of the very important question as a point of examination also, as well as concept also very important one. If you understand this properly, systematic how we are going to analyze in the same approach we are going to use for to solve the problems in entire FEM. So I think we'll stop it here today. Only few members are there. We'll take it tomorrow. So daily I will take the class. It is not irrespective of timetable. Okay. So whenever class I will take, early I will inform.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So 1 minute I will take attendance.
Okay, sir.
So still 29 members only enter the details. Still 7 members is not enter the details. Inform 29. Okay. Naginta here. Nitish, Kishore, Pavan,
Present, sir.
Krupa, Pavana, Kishore or Pavan?
Kishore.
Kishore, okay. Pavan, Krupanand Reddy, Prajwal, Puneet, Mohammad Wasim, Vinay Kumar, Ramachandra, Bharat Kumar, Ruchita,
Present, sir.
Sheikh Shashawali, Sheikh Basha,
Present, sir.
and Chand Basha, Mohammad Azdan, Nayamutullah, Shafi, Shekhar, Shashank, Shekhar,
Present.
who is present? Shekhar or Shashank?
Shashank.
Sumant, Sumant, Bharat Kumar, Sujit Sagar, sorry, Shrijit Sagar, Varun, Veena,
Present, sir.
Vishwanath, Hemant, Diana, Dilip, Girish, Gautam,
Yes, sir.
Zabirullah, Rishi Kumar,
Yes, sir.
Tejas Kumar. Tejas Kumar, okay, fine. Okay, tomorrow about the class time I will let you know in the group. Okay, so tomorrow also. Okay,
Okay, sir.
okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.